of the engines on the Southern United Railroad seemed to have an extra spring in their wheels. They worked harder than ever, and they seemed to smile more often than normal. As Roger was going about his work, he kept overhearing the other engines saying, "There's only a few more days," and "I can't believe they're almost finished." Roger was confused by all this excitement. He tried to ignore it at first, but after a while he could stand being in the dark no longer. One day, at South Plainsville Sheds, Kryssy, Taylor, and Amber were talking when Roger backed in. "Hello, Roger," called Kryssy. "Don't you know it's rude to interrupt girl talk?" teased Amber, but Roger was in no mood for games. "Can I ask you something?" Roger said to them. "Sure," replied Taylor. "What do you want to know?" "I keep hearing everyone talking about something that's going to happen in a few days, and that something's finally going to be done," Roger said. "What's that about?" The three engines looked at him in disbelief. "You mean you don't know?" Amber asked. "Obviously I don't, or else I wouldn't be asking," Roger said crossly. "We better tell you and get you up to speed," Taylor said. "Please, somebody tell me something," Roger cried. "I think Kryssy should tell it," suggested Amber, "since she's the one that made it happen." "That's fine with me," Kryssy replied. Kryssy took a deep breath and began. And this is the story Kryssy told them. One day, there was an explosion at the coal mine on the Denville and Western. Nobody was seriously injured, but the mine had to be closed. And it also triggered a landslide blocking the line to the mine. This meant the railroad's coal supply was cut off. Mr. Egan contacted a coal mine on the other railroad, and they agreed to supply the railroad with the coal, but they didn't give the amount that he had hoped for. So the coal had to be rationed. This left the coal-burning engines feeling very worried. Christian, Milton, Allie, Ian, and Kryssy didn't have to worry about this since they were oil burners. Since Ian was the strongest, he was sent to pick up the coal, but one day Ian burst his safety valve while climbing Piscataway Hill. So Kryssy was sent to pick up the coal delivery. She arrived early, just after sunrise, to find that her train was not ready. "This is strange," Kryssy said to her driver. "Ian said normally the train is ready as soon as he gets here." "Maybe they're running late today," Kryssy's driver replied. "Well, I can't wait around here all day. I'll be late, and the engines need their coal." So with that, Kryssy set off to find some empty hoppers to load up. At the back of the yard, she got a surprise. There, on an unused siding, was a rusty Camelback engine. "Oh," she said in surprise. "Hello, my name's Christina. What's yours?" "I'm Ross," the engine replied sadly. "What are you doing here?" Kryssy asked. 5 years ago, I was the switcher for this mine, and then he came along." "Who's he?" "I did," said an oily voice. Just then, an SW-1500 switch engine rolled alongside. "Ross, you're still here?" said the engine rudely. "I thought you would have finally been taken away for scrap." "Well, it isn't," Ross said crossly. "Well, they should. You're taking up siding space that a reliable engine like me can use." "If you were so reliable," Kryssy snapped, "my train would have been ready when I got here." The engine didn't say another word. He just scowled and rolled away. "Who was that?" Kryssy asked. "That was Alan. He was the engine that replaced me. He makes jokes because my manager says if he can't find another railroad to buy me, I would be sold for scrap." Kryssy thought for a long moment, and then had an idea. "I can talk to my manager, Mr. Egan. He may have a job for you." "Oh, Christina," cried Ross, "thank you so much." "You're welcome," Kryssy replied, "but call me Kryssy." Soon Alan had her cars loaded, and she set off with the coal train. Back at the sheds, Kryssy told the other engines all about Ross and Alan. Ian told me about that, Alan, Larry said. He's trouble. But I wonder why Ian never mentioned Ross, Kevin wondered. Probably because his trains were already ready when he got there, Christian replied. He never had to find his own cars like Kryssy did. When do you plan on telling Mr. Egan? Taylor asked. The moment I next see him, Kryssy replied. Well, here I am, said a voice. What do you have to tell me, Kryssy? Kryssy explained all about Ross. Mr. Egan thought for a moment. You know what, Kryssy? Ross is just who we need to do switching at the steelworks. Really? Kryssy exclaimed. Yes, I will go with you tomorrow in the morning to work things out with his manager. Mr. Egan turned and walked away, leaving the engines very excited. The next morning, Kryssy was getting filled with water and oil, ready for her run to the coal mine. Taylor and Larry were there to see her off. Good luck, Kryssy, called Larry. Thank you, Larry, Kryssy replied. Everything will turn out okay, Taylor said. I certainly hope so, Kryssy sighed. Just then, Mr. Egan arrived. Come on, Kryssy, it's time to leave. Kryssy whistled goodbye to Larry and Taylor and set off. That same moment, Ross awoke to find Alan backing onto him. What's going on? He asked. The manager is selling you to a scrapyard near the next station, Alan snickered. No! Shouted Ross. Oh yeah, Alan laughed as he pulled Ross away. Kryssy was stalling for the coal mine junction when she saw Alan pulling Ross away. Oh no! Alan's taking him for scrap! Kryssy cried, I have to do something! Without another word, and before her crew could stop her, she shot forward and rammed into them, causing Alan to derail. Alan was furious. You pumped the engine! Wait till my manager hears about this. The coal manager soon arrived to see what had happened. After checking Alan's damage, he had a meeting with Mr. Egan. It seemed like forever, but they soon returned to talk to them. Well, Kryssy, he's gonna sell Ross to us. Kryssy whistled loudly. Yay! But, added Mr. Egan, we have to pay for Alan's repairs, and you will have to work at the coal mine in his place. Yes, sir, Kryssy replied. Kryssy soon collected the coal along with Ross and headed for home. Marquise and Milton were waiting. They cheered as Kryssy passed through Otisville. They soon arrived at the shops. It's gonna take a while to repair you, said Mr. Egan, but we will have you running again. It's no problem, sir. Thank you, Kryssy. You're welcome, Ross, Kryssy replied, and headed back to her coal train. Roger was amazed. Now I see why everyone's so excited about him. That was a wonderful thing you did. Thank you for telling me, Kryssy. No problem, Kryssy smiled. Next Friday was the big day. All the engines gathered at South Plainsville to see Ross. Ross was at the works. Coupled to him was the business car, carrying Mr. Egan, Mr. McCluskey, Mr. Campbell, Miss S., Ray, Paul, and other important people. Rodney was the law behind a case of problems. At 4 p.m., Ross steamed into cheers. He stopped right next to Kryssy. After making a speech, Mr. Egan cracked a bottle of champagne on his coupling to dedicate him, and everyone cheered. Thank you again for giving me a new lease on life, Kryssy. You're welcome, Kryssy smiled. Every engine needs a chance to be useful, and all the other engines agreed.